Rory McIlroy wants the players that stayed loyal to the PGA Tour to receive financial compensation after the shock merger with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Many high-profile players turned down huge sums of money on offer from the LIV series, although McIlroy says he was not one of them.
You know, a lot of the headlines yesterday were PGA Tour was merging with LIV, and I think that is not quite accurate. You know, this is a new partnership between the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and the Public Investment Fund. Obviously, PIF are the money behind LIV, but you know, LIV is ultimately the PGA Tour is now in control of LIV, and whatever that means for LIV going forward and its future, that's up to people that are way smarter and way above me to decide. But ultimately, the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour have control of professional golf, which I think in the bigger scheme of things is a good thing.
You've hinted in press conferences over the last year you felt like these two sides needed to come together and to have a meeting, but in coming together they needed to do it the right way. Is this what you envisioned?
I think so. Look, this is all going to take a while to shake out. There's a lot of details to be thrashed out on this, and I'm sure once we get into it, you know, there will be player input, and we're talking about very complex situations here. People left, people said bad things, people litigated. Trying to welcome that back is going to be very hard for a lot of guys out here to stomach. So, they're going to have to work our way through that, along with a lot of other stuff. So. But again, when I think about the bigger picture and I project forward 5 to 10 years, ultimately I think this puts the game of golf at the men's professional level in a better spot.
You just mentioned a lot of those details still needing to be ironed out. What would you like to see put in place as they finalize this agreement? Some of those details that you and the other players you feel like can get behind going forward?
I don't know. Guys have to. The guys that stayed loyal, that had offers on the table. I'm not one of them. I was never offered anything from LIV, but the guys that were offered huge amounts of money and turned it down and stayed loyal to the PGA Tour. There has to be something for those guys, right? I mean, it was a massive decision to do what they did. I feel for the right reasons, but now that all this is shaken out this way, I feel for those guys that had that decision to make, and I felt like made the right decision, and are probably somewhat questioning that decision that they made now, right? So I think something has to be done for those guys, and I think for me, my hope. And my ambition has always been to protect the PGA Tour and to protect the aspirational nature of it. So I hope for me going forward that is still the case, because I love what the PGA Tour stands for. I like the competition, the meritocracy of it all, and I hope and think that will continue.
When you say something for these guys going forward, the ones that did turn down offers from LIV, do you mean some sort of financial compensation?
Yeah, I think so. Ultimately, I think that's what we're talking about, yeah.
Former Ryder Cup captain, player and Sky Sports golf expert Paul McGinley thinks there is a huge task ahead to make the new merger work with all the organisations involved.
I think that the LIV events are very, very complex to integrate back in again, because a lot of the players own equity in these teams. So, if you're going to have the likes of Rory McIlroy playing in these team events, whereas other players are benefit because they have equity in that team and he doesn't, how do you make that right? Do you make more teams? That's only dealing with the LIV situation, forgetting about, the PGA Tour and the contracts and the historic events that they have as well to fill into the calendar. And, you got to remember as well, professional golfers are not like professional soccer players, who play 40 games a year and 40 weeks a year. They play 22, 23 events a year. That's all they do. And even if the money is huge, I can't see them playing any more than 26, 27. And, if you're looking at 14 LIV events, you're looking at 14 events from the PGA Tour. You're looking at 4 or 5 from Europe. You're looking at the Ryder Cup. You're looking at the 4 majors on top. And you start putting all that together. You get to a number of about 35, 36 weeks. And I'd be really surprised if players, even if the money is huge, would buy into that.
Well, all the talk of golf has been on the stunning merger deal between LIV, the PGA Tour and DP World Tour this week. But there's action on the course this afternoon. For more on a different kind of event, we can join Insi Mehmet in Stockholm.
Well, thanks very much. It's a beautiful day here at the Volvo Scandinavian Mixed Open, and I'm joined by Sophie Walker, who will be striding the fairways later today. But first of all, let's talk about the format. It's quite unique, isn't it? What makes this event so special?
Men and women teeing it up on the same golf course, not off the same tees, but the money's the same, the leaderboard is the same, and last year we got that phenomenal winner in Lynn Grant.
And speaking of which, I mean, she proved a dominant performance last year, shooting a astounding 64 in the final round. Do you think we can see that again?
The pressure is on a defending champion in Lynn Grant. She tees it up this afternoon. It's going to be harder for the women because the course is short for the guys, but you never know. I'm sure we'll be cheering them on.
And Tuesday, the PGA Tour announced some shocking news, really, that they're going to unify men's golf. First of all, what do you make of that announcement, and what's the generic, I guess, feel on the grounds?
The feeling was that it may happen, but the fact that it happened so soon, that was a huge shock. Nobody seemed to know what was going on. People in the Players' Lounge asking what the gossip is. But the overall feeling is, because the DP World name is mentioned alongside PIF and the PGA Tour, that it's only going to be good news for guys this side of the pond.
Well, I appreciate the insight, Sophie. Hope you have a cracking day. And the leaderboard's looking quite exciting, nice and mixed between the men and women. But join us for all the action at 12 o'clock today on Sky Sports Golf.